Please welcome Olaf Mordelt.
Also a very warm welcome from my side, and I am happy and very excited to be here today to provide you with an insight of what will be important in the future for the retail and the amusement developments, especially if you think about the ever-growing demand of human-centered entertainment and developments. As mentioned before, my name is Olaf Mordelt. I'm a CEO and founder of One World Studios here in Berlin. I should actually start the presentation as well. I don't know whether I'm freezing or whether I'm excited or nervous, so bear with me. Yeah, let me introduce you some numbers that are important for me and that explain a little bit the history and the drive why I do love this industry so much. In 1945, it was my grandmother who actually developed, produced, and installed the first commercial animated window display. Just around the corner here at Kudam, near the at KaDeWe, around here. It was in 1961 when my father and my grandfather developed, opened, and operated the first themed amusement park in Europe. Some suggest even the entire world. It was in 1965 when I was born and started that roller coaster ride through this industry. In 2011, after working on hundreds of projects throughout the world, learning about our industry, I actually settled down and opened my own company here in Berlin. Today, we are creating and developing attractions for the amusement park and retail industry. We develop entertainment, art displays, immersive guest experiences, all the way to entire destination resorts worldwide. There was an experience many years ago that really also influenced the way I was thinking, and where I found that synergies need to be formed in order to succeed in the future for our market. Somebody I knew used to have or has still a retail shop, fashion retail shop, and in a very prominent location. Having it in a prominent location obviously attracted competitors. Attracting competitors, you lose part of the cake of the intakes. So he was thinking, what can I do to make my shop more attractive than any of the other shops? And he added entertainment to his venue. A bar inside and outside the shop to attract the people. He even introduced a gastronomy, restaurant, a bistro, and even a wine cellar. You can imagine with that mixture and the retail, he succeeded very strongly. Now, retail and entertainment originated in the wilderness, hence the theme for this month. From the beginning of mankind, we were hunters and gatherers. We met, or they met, on various different locations, different times, to exchange their goods. They met to exchange information, hence education. They also met to have fun and enjoy the time together. Then, throughout the medieval times and all the times following the medieval times, villages appeared, villages appeared, became towns, became cities. The market became more static and provided a more secure and safe environment for the tradesmen as well as for the visitors. During the Industrial Revolution, we started to mass produce goods to make them more available and accessible to bigger groups of consumers that have a broader social background. What started to be a local market became all of a sudden a nationwide market. With the increase of the travel industry, it became even an international market. After the World War II, the retail and the traveling industry reinstalled itself, and the markets as we know today appeared. Commercial entertainment also appeared after that time in a bigger scale. Today, in the industry that I am working in, we recognize four main markets. One is the urban retail and gastronomy. The other one is shopping malls and outlet malls. The amusement park industry and museums and venues, and the fairground attractions and fairgrounds. They all had within the last 4 to 5 years, a new player emerged, which is the online market. Now, let me just ask you a quick question for my own sake. How many of you today use the online shopping opportunities? Just raise your hands if you do. Which actually does confirm my latest information that I received, statistics, and it's actually 90% of the German population using or making use of online shopping facilities. Now we were thinking in a way. No, I have to start again on that one. Sorry. The online shopping facility and opportunities. The traditional market feared to an extent, and it didn't help what happened lately with the pandemic. It didn't help the pandemic helped the. I'm sorry, now I have to kind of try to get my bearing again.
A few moments later.
I'm sorry, I just completely lost it. And it also certainly is of no confidence, the looming war scenario that we are experiencing at this very moment. We've been following and monitoring those developments also over the past few years already from our company. And we wanted to see, or I personally wanted to see, how can we work against that shift that's happening at this very moment? What can we contribute? Not to eliminate one of the markets, but actually coexist and finding those synergies, which I find very important. So we are a very multidisciplinary company with cultural and social backgrounds from all over the industry. And we started to analyze our own projects, which were good. Why were they good? We also scrutinized the competitors, their successes and their failures. We then worked on the data that we found. We put all the information together, we developed matrices, and soon it became apparent to us it looked like a star, a floating star. So we called it Star Concept. Shortly after, I wrote a thesis about the findings, about history, about where we go and what we have to do, and implemented it into our day-to-day operation of our developments. So you may ask yourself, what is the Star Concept and how does it work for us? In, again, our markets, we see 4 major dependencies. The dependencies between event, retail, food and beverage and attractions. There is another dependency which combines all of them, and those are the Sustainable Development Goals, or short the SDGs, that are becoming more and more important. So how and what is the progress or the process that we're doing during a development of new projects? And it became, or it's clear, and I probably won't tell you all that many news, but it's important to us and to me. Whenever we start with a progress or with a product or with a new project, we first of all need to set clear goals together with our client. For instance, how many visitors do you want to have? What's your operating time? What's your operating procedures? And what's your target group? Then we take out of the corner of our beautiful Star Concept each of those points and create layers. Those layers are, as I said before, the event and entertainment layer, the retail layer, the F&B layer, attraction layer, and SDG layer. Those layers we fill with any kind of opportunity that we possibly can think of that can contribute to the success of our project. For the retail layer, it could be, what kind of merchandise do I sell? Define endless amount of objects and possibilities that you may have. There is the entertainment layer. How do I entertain the guests when they come to see me? Is it music box, live events, shows, stage, anything? The F&B layer, what do I provide them with in perspective of food? Is it a bistro? Is it a snack bar? Whatever. And also the attraction layer. What can I provide as an attraction for them to come to me, to see me, to experience me? We fill those out. Also the SDG layer. What can I do? Can I produce my own energy? And if yes, how? Where can I get it from? Water. And anything that goes into that SDG layer. Once, at the beginning, we did set our goals, and we said, those are the goals. Here we have our layers, and now we actually need to match them against certain considerations. The considerations are the personas and their expectations. It is the local, cultural, and historic expectations on that location where I want to go to. It is the investors and developers' expectations. And it's certainly the environmental expectations. What can I do then before I do something stupid or destroy something? And then we ask also at the same time, what is it that, or many questions, but one of them is, or a lot of them are, what is it that actually excites our consumers, the guests that come to us? Is it the feeling of a success? Is it the experience of emotions? Or is it the making an impact for yourself? What places do our consumers normally go to? Is it shops? Is it cinemas? Are cultural events? Or bars, restaurants? And how far would they travel to come to see us? And what attractions are required again to meet their expectations? What's the thrill? How long does the thrill last for our consumers? And what are the memories? The memories to, again, so excites, the places, what attractions, and what is the thrill? How long does the thrill last? What are the memories? The memories they can take home with us, with them, and possibly talk about in the future. Once we got all those information set up, we push them through an imaginary filter for us. And once we got it through the filter, we have to match it against the economical expectations and the spaces available. That may cause that you have to do it again and again until you actually fit the space and the requirements that you have. On top of that, there are a lot more questions and answers and ideas that will contribute to the success of a project. And there are, so 1 star we have, but there's a galaxy out there. There is a galaxy out there. One of the other stars that are coming more and more apparent is the tech ratio. It's called the tech ratio. It's a technical ratio. How much technology do you want to involve in your project? Before it becomes too boring for one group or too overwhelming for the other group. Another star is time, and that is crucial in our industry. If I start today the development, when will I actually realize this development? When will it be operative? If it's a month time, fine. You know, that's exactly the things that we can foresee. If it's a long procedure, 10 years, 5 years, with all the permission and planning and designing, then you have to be very, very careful and aware of what you're doing. Now, we facilitated and used a tool that was developed, which is very important for us during the development of this phase. And we found that here in Berlin. Oh, no, I'm moved too far ahead. Sorry. Once we got those answers, once we have the stars, we have a vision. We see a vision. A vision and is actually just an ideation of what can we do. And that comes before we actually start with creating the concept. With that ideation and with this vision that we have now, we actually start to generate a story. A story that's plausible and a story that's authentic to the location I want to work at. And one thing from my past experiences, and this is I cannot stress enough, is that you have to have a story for your project. If you do not have a story to your project, it's almost like you have a child without a name. It may be cute, but it's not part of the family and it doesn't work for you. Definitely. To get to go through the entire process of selecting, deselecting, unselecting ideas, opportunities, and possibilities, we have found a tool that was developed here in Berlin. It's a tool that helped us to understand our decisions. Why we eliminated the one idea and why we used the other one. And we had to make sure this tool is possible to be repeated by others to come to the same conclusion. A tool that helped us to understand. We needed to explain and justify to our clients and investors why we have taken that decision and why we not taking something else in. So we modified that tool, which is something a friend and business partner of mine had developed, fit it to our requirements, and we called it Objectified Decision Engine, or short ODE. At the beginning, I gave you an example about the small industry, the small business development of a fashion retailer. But in our days, it is more, there are other markets that are a great example. The cruise ship industry. The cruise ship industry used to be a means for transport from A to B for people. Changed quickly into, when they got the competition with the airplanes and the trains and the buses, they changed into the tourism industry. With the tourism industry, they had a new market. They needed to open their market. They need to be more interesting. They opened gastronomy. They introduced entertainment attractions to attract the people. Other industries are the ski resort industry, where there used to be only winter time, that's it. They need to open it for environmental reasons and also making dual use of the facility that they have on site. In the future, one of the strong beliefs that I have and what we have is that we need to develop, whatever we develop, to be more diverse, to be more flexible and immersive. It needs to be reflecting the local cultural and historical requirements and expectations. And it needs to become adventurous. It needs to be almost personalized experiences, which they can talk and share at the end. This is a very complex development that we take every project through. And for that, I need, or we do all need, very, very a competent team to do that, which I'm very proud that I do have that actually on my hand. With that, I want to say thank you very much to Jürgen and his team and everybody that was involved in it. And I will conclude my little talk, and I hope that I inspired you a little bit. And I'm ready for questions and answers for you now.
Thank you. Stay with me.